Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. So today's video is going to be my April TBR. I know I say it every video that I do like a TBR for, but I can't believe that we're already going into April. March went by so fast. I did not read as many books in March as I did in February because I was very busy, which is also why this video is a little bit late / there wasn't a video last week. But that's okay. Things happen. I'm not perfect. No one is. But last month for my TBR, I had my friend Sammy pick my books, and so I thought, kind of going along with that theme, I have another friend who also reads a lot, and her name's Cassidy, so I had her also pick my books this month. So I had her pick 5 books, just like I had Sammy pick 5 books. I actually didn't give her parameters of like this book or this book, because I did with Sammy, and it was kind of hard for me to pick these, like, between books and things like that. So I was like, I want no control over it this time. I just told her, as long as I haven't read it, and like, if she sent me one I'd read, I would just tell her to pick a different one, that anything was on the table. So, but most of these books I've talked about either in previous TBRs, just on my channel in general, like whether it was a book haul or something, or they're books that I already like knew exist. Like nothing's like, oh, I've never heard of this book before, like that's new and intriguing. But maybe there's one that you haven't heard, but I highly doubt it. I feel like if you're pretty into books, especially like the romance genre, you've probably heard of all these. But anyways, that's today's video. Let's get into it. Okay, so the first book that is going to be on my April TBR is Terms and Conditions by Lauren Asher. Now, this book has been on many TBRs. It's finally time I read it. I've been pushing it off because I didn't love the first one. I loved the Dirty Air series by Lauren Asher, so I was super excited for this new series when it came out, but when I read the fine print, I really didn't like it. But from people that I know who have also read this series, apparently the fine print's like everyone's least favorite, whether it was, oh, I just like didn't love it, to like I really didn't like it. So I'm trying to keep that out of my mind, that the 2 books after should be way better. But it is hard when you really didn't like the first book in a series to like want to continue. But I love Lauren Asher, and I really want to read Love Redesigned, and I'm making myself finish the Dreamland Billionaire series before I read that series. So I'm nervous because I feel like if I don't read it this month, like, am I ever gonna read it? But I'm also glad that she put on this TBR because I need to read it. So and I think, no, I can't remember. I have one friend who this is their favorite, and I have another friend who the final offer is their favorite, and I can't remember which one was Cassidy's. But either way, either this one or the last one are her favorite, so she's been trying to get me to read it because she loves it. So that's the first book on my April TBR. Another book that's on my April TBR is Twisted by Emily McIntyre. So again, I'm pretty sure it was on last month's TBR. I have not read it. I know, literally, like, someone needs to light a fire under me. I need to read that book. It's like, it's so bad. I liked the first 3 books. Like, there was nothing wrong with them. I don't know why it's been like, I don't know. I just like haven't been able to get past the 3rd one. I just can't read the 4th and 5th one. But I need to. So again, thank you, Cassidy, for lighting the fire under me so that I can hopefully read it. I don't know, I feel like I've talked about this book quite a bit in other like TBR videos. It's a darker romance, which is nice too, because I feel like a lot of the books on my TBR this month aren't like super dark, so like there'll be a nice little like change mix up there. But I love Emily McIntyre and her writing. I think she's really good at it. It's very entertaining, but also like makes you feel all the different emotions that you're wanting to feel in the books too. So I'm excited. I don't remember what Twisted is about though, because I know there's Twisted and Crossed, and I always get them confused on which is which. So I'm not. No, stop slamming doors. I'm not gonna like specify like, oh, this is this and this is that, because I don't remember. So if you're curious which like fairy tale it's kind of based off of, you'll have to like go on Amazon and look at the synopsis, because I literally can never remember. So I want to say it was like Aladdin and Jasmine, or like technically I guess Jafar and Jasmine, but I'm not sure. The 3rd book on my April TBR is Behind the Net by Stephanie Archer. So this is my first kind of sports romance on this TBR, because I feel like Terms and Conditions is a billionaire romance, clearly Dreamland Billionaire series, And then Twisted is very much a dark romance. So I like that I'm having this variety too of tropes, because I feel like sometimes I'll have a whole TBR that's like dark romance, or a whole TBR that's sports romance, or, you know, whatever the trope is. And it's like sometimes I can get a little tedious because, not gonna lie, they all are very similar and you can only kind of write so many plots. So sometimes it can almost put me in a reading slump or just make me not want to read as much when it's the same thing over and over again. So I do think that she picked a very good variety of books for this month, which is very exciting because, again, hopefully that will keep me entertained and want to keep reading. But anyways, this third book, Behind the Net, I want to say I had it on a TBR one month, but I can't remember exactly, but it has been on like my mental TBR for a while. I see it all the time on Kindle Unlimited. I always want to read it. I've just never like actually like gone and clicked it and read it. But I've not really heard bad things about it, so I'm super excited to see if it's actually as good as everyone says it is. I don't know if the second book's already out, but I know there's supposed to be a second book. So if it is already out, then great. I can also read that after I read this, or if not, then I can look forward to it if I read it. You know what, Paige? You're gonna read it. You're gonna read this whole TBR. That's what's gonna happen. God, you are lying yourself. No. Okay, my fourth book on my April TBR is Long Way Down by Krista and Becca Ritchie. So this is the second to last book in the Addicted Calloway Sisters series. So I was super glad that she put this on the TBR because I really want to finish this series. I love it. It's such a fun universe to be in. The characters are amazing. And generally it's been like a year since I've started it, but technically I started the first and second book I think 2 years ago. I just like started at the third one last year and read all the way to basically Fuel the Fire. That I just don't know why that took me so long to figure out the title. So I think it's time I finish it. I think it's time you guys want me to finish it. I can move on to other big series. I can check that off my series list. I can start rereading so I can continue annotating. Yeah, no, I'm really excited. I'm super glad that I'm close to the end with that one. So when she told me that she was putting that on there, I was really excited. I was like, I had the books written on a post-it note and the post-its just fell on the floor. Anyways, that's my fourth book on my April TBR. Super excited about it and feel like out of all of them, that one will probably get read. I don't know. It is longer though, so maybe it won't. I don't know. We'll see. Okay, it is now time for our fifth and final book on my April TBR. Cassidy picked The Right Move by Liz Tomford. So it is another sports romance, but at least it's a different sports. We have Behind the Net, which is a hockey romance, and now this one, which is a basketball romance, if I remember correctly, I think. I read Mile High, which is the first book in the series, and I liked it. I mean, there were parts that I kind of like didn't love, and there were certain characters that like kind of got on my nerves sometimes, but like it was a good read. I think I rated it like 4 stars or something, maybe 4.25. It was a good time. I didn't regret reading it. But I've heard so many people rave about this book. Like they're like, Mile High who? That doesn't even exist. Even if they liked it, they're like, I don't. The Right Move is like the holy grail. So I have also had this on many TBRs because I do want to read it, but again, I say I want to read it, and it's not that I don't, like, I don't know how to explain it. It's not that I don't want to read it. I just didn't get to it. Like, it's so hard during the school year to get the energy to read when half of your homework is to read. But I'm really hopeful I can get to it. All these books, if I could read all of them, like, guaranteed this month, I would be so happy. There's so many books on here that I've been trying to read for months. But like also I have to be like realistic with the fact that it's my last like full month of school before I go on summer break, and I'm gonna be busy with finals coming at the end of the month and just last exams and classes and quizzes and all of my other things. So I wouldn't say expect too much from me for next month reading wise, like my reading wrap up, not like video wise, just like but once summer hits, like once May happens, I'm telling you guys, I'm so excited. I feel like May, June, July, and even August, because I don't move back in till like later in August, I am gonna be trying to read every possible minute I can. But that was today's video. The 5 books that Cassidy picked to put on my April TBR. I, again, don't stick to TBRs like religiously. If it happens, it happens. If it doesn't, it doesn't. It's not that big of a thing for me. I just know some people like to see what's kind of on people's minds for that month that they want to read. And like I said, I usually read like 1 or 2, so like there is kind of an idea of what I will read that month. But if you guys have any video ideas, comment those down below. If you have, honestly, if you have any suggestions of books you want me to read and then review for you guys, like, oh, I really love this book, I think you should read it, you can comment those down below too. I am mainly a romance/romantasy reader, so if it's not kind of one of those genres, I may not like it. So if it's not, you may not want to recommend that to me. If it's a fantasy but like doesn't have a ton of romance in it, you can still recommend it. I might try it, but I do tend to like romantasies better than just fantasy, especially because fantasy usually is such like a long book series that like I need something else there to like keep me entertained. But yeah, that was today's video. I hope you guys enjoyed. Little last note before I go, really exciting news. If you have watched my, I can't remember what I called it, something with creative writing video that I posted like months ago, there was a book that I was working on and I finally have finished, like, okay, so I call them chapter summaries. I basically, chapters 1 through whatever, and this is what happens in each chapter. But I'm not very good at just summarizing in a couple sentences. Like, there's literally full-on like dialogue and descriptive, like I've basically written like kind of the first rough draft of the book. So that was really exciting. I finished that today actually. So I don't know if I'll make another video about my creative writing until I'm at a more finalized point, unless you guys want to. I also changed a couple things in my book, so if you watch that creative writing video, it might not be exactly the same as what it currently is, but I'm super excited to continue working on that. One of my goals is to get my first, you know, manuscript per se done by the end of the year, so I can send it to people I know who can edit things well, and then eventually either self-publish it or try to get a smaller publishing company probably to publish it, because let's be real, I don't think, you know, like Simon & Schuster Publishing is gonna be like, Paige, we want to publish your book, it's so amazing. Like, if that happened, call me out. Yeah, you got it. I will sign over the book to you, you got it. But let's be real, that ain't gonna happen. So, but I just wanted to update you guys on that because I know that that's something I talked about a while ago and then kind of never talked about again. So that's kind of where I'm at in that process, is I'm now starting on working on my real first rough draft, even though, like I said, I kind of got carried away in the chapter summaries, and there's definitely already like chapters that are almost completely written out. So oops, my bad. But again, that's today's video. I hope you guys enjoyed. I hope you all are having a great day. I'm sure most of you are either on spring break or just got off of spring break, so I hope you guys are either enjoying your spring break or enjoyed your spring break. And I will see you guys next time. Bye.